All right, welcome to chapter 3. You're going to notice a few things this chapter. First of all, you're going to notice that we have 4 standards. One is solving for various variables, order of operations. Notice they're advanced. Distributed property is advanced, and also adding and subtracting integers. Today we're going to look at adding and subtracting integers. Again, very important to do things exactly like I show you in your notes. And when you do the problems for practice, do it the way I ask you to do it. So first of all, let's take a look at, I'm going to just throw a problem out there. Let's say that I have, I'm going to have a 3. And it's going to be positive. And I'm going to add another positive number. I'm going to add 2. And when I add a positive 3 and I add a positive 2, I end up getting a positive number. It's a positive 5. Okay, and I'm using green just to kind of help you with understanding how to add integers. Okay, so pretty basic. A green plus a green is going to give me a green, and they're all positive. Let's move on to something like this. When I have a negative 4, I'm going to make it red. And I am going to add a negative 6. And so when I have a red 4 and I add a red 6, I end up getting a negative number, and that gives me a negative 10. So the whole idea is that if I add 2 negatives together, I'm going to get a negative number, and when I add 2 positives together, I'm going to get a positive number. Now, when you do your assignment, what I want you to do is, all you need to do is write this part down that I underline in purple. You're going to put equals, and you're going to write negative 10 like that. And that's all you need to do. You do not need to do the color cubes. I am just using it to kind of help you understand what's going on. Okay, next problem. I have a negative 5, so I'm going to go negative 5, and I'm going to put it in red. And then I am going to add a positive 3. Now, some of you may be able to do this, and it's no big deal. Others of you that struggle, think of it this way. I have a negative 5 and I have a positive 3. The negative 5 is larger in that it is a 5. And so if I look at the 5, how much bigger is that than the 3? It is 2. So I'm going to write it in color red because that 5 is bigger. And then it's going to be negative because 5 is negative. If you understand this, you can do what I underline in purple, and that would equal just negative 2, and you'd be done. Again, what I look at is not whether it's positive or negative at first. I'm going to look at this one, it's 5. This one, it's 3. They're 2 different colors. The 5 is larger, and so that gives me 5 minus 3 is 2, and because 5 is negative, my answer is negative. Let's move on to the next one. Now, notice that this is not an addition statement. So when you do your problems, what I want you to do is turn this into an addition statement. So if you remember from 7th grade, Miss Clemenson would have you go, okay, it's a minus and negative. The negatives are next to each other. I can turn this into a positive. So it's 9 plus 2, and that gives me 11. So when you do the assignment, what I'd have you do is actually write down, here, let me erase this for just a minute, just to make it a little bit easier for you. If you do this assignment, I would have you write 9 like this, minus a negative 2 like this, okay? I would see you do this. She would say it's a chop chop, okay? And then you would write 11. And you'd be done. So what you see in purple and black there, that's what you would do for your assignment. I actually want to see the chop there. Okay, now let's go down to this problem. When you do this problem, you would write down a negative 5, okay? You would write down a minus, and then you would write down your 2. Now, when you have a problem like this, I do not have 2 negatives. What you're going to do is you are going to take this, you are going to make this a positive and that a negative. So it turns it into a addition problem. Now you're going to notice I have -5 and I add a -2. That gives me -7. So again, for your assignments, turn all subtraction problems into addition, then add, or how about, let's say, then solve. Okay, so this is really important. So if I have two negatives, I'm going to add them or do a chop chop. If I have a negative in the middle, like I did in number 4, I'm going to do that chop chi, as she would say, and then go ahead and turn them all into addition. If you have any questions, let me know.